Okay, so before we start with our first lesson, we're just going to quickly take some time to make sure that we've got everything that we need downloaded and ready to go. So that includes the Unity Hub, as well as a version of Unity, and the Blank Tanks project that we're going to be using later on in this course. So you should be looking at a page similar to this. This is basically the page of this lesson. If you scroll down underneath the video, you should see an area like this, something that says things you're going to need. Well, in this section, I've given you two links. The first link will download the Blank Tanks project as a zip file, and the second will take you to a page on the Unity website where, if you haven't already, you can download the Unity Hub. The Unity Hub is just basically a Unity launcher, and you can use it to launch different projects and different versions of Unity. So all you need to do is accept the terms and conditions and click Download Unity Hub. If you need to make an account, I can't quite remember if you need one to use the Unity Hub, but if you do, that's pretty easy to do as well. You just come to the top right corner and you click Create a Unity ID. Now, I've already got the Unity Hub downloaded, so I'm not going to go through that process again, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Just follow the instructions that pop up and you'll have it downloaded in no time. Okay, so once you've got the Unity Hub downloaded and installed and ready to go, the next thing you'll need to do is come back to this page, click on the Tanks Blank Project zip link, and that should start a download of the project as a zip file. So I'm just going to give this a couple minutes and wait for it to download. Okay, so mine has finished downloading. So I'm going to make my way to my downloads page, and here is the zip file. The next thing we're going to want to do is place this file in a folder that we can find from within the Unity Hub. Now, when downloading and installing the Unity Hub, it may have automatically created a folder within your documents for which you can create and store Unity projects in. If it hasn't, it doesn't really matter. You can choose any folder from the Unity Hub to save and create projects in. So it's up. But either way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly right click and click cut on that file. Then I'm going to go to my documents because I know I have a folder that is called Unity Projects in here where all my other Unity projects are being kept. So I'm going to keep this one in here as well. Right, so then I'm going to right click and paste, and now I've got the zip folder in here. Great, so once you've got your zip file where you want it, all you need to do now is extract it. So I'm just going to select it, click Extract All, just double check that it's going to be extracted in the right location, and for me that is perfect. So I'm going to hit Extract. Now if you're watching this on a Mac, the only real difference is going to be how you extract the zip file, as obviously the Mac operating system works a little bit differently, but it's not too dissimilar from Windows, and I'm sure if you're using a Mac, you'll know how to do that. If not, it's just a quick Google search away. Okay, there we go. As you can see, it has extracted the project for us. Now all that we really need to do is just delete the original zip folder, because we don't need that anymore. And we're done. Now, before we move over to the Unity Hub and open up this project, I just want to quickly show you something. If I open up the folder that I've been given from the zip file I extracted, I've got another folder of the same name. If I open that up, I've then got lots of folders and different files and stuff. Now, the folder that contains all of this, so for me it is the second one, that is the Unity project, and this is the folder that we want to find from within the Unity Hub. Now, because it's a bit confusing having two folders of the same name, I'm just going to quickly move the actual project, out of the folder it's sitting in, go back to my main projects folder, and I'm going to remove the empty one, which is this one with the hyphens. So I'm going to right click it and click delete. And if you notice that you had two folders like that, you may wish to do the same. I noticed that this happened on my PC and not my Mac, so Mac users, you might not need to worry about that, but it's still worth double checking nonetheless. So if I open up this folder now, I can see lots of folders and different files, meaning that this is the project, and this is what we're going to find in the Unity Hub. Cool, we're all set up. So let's open up the Unity Hub. I'm going to quickly find it. There we go. And click open. And there we go. So let's move over to the projects tab on the left. And if this is your first time using the Unity Hub, you might see something similar to this, where you have no projects available to select. Well, that's an easy fix. All we need to do is go to the right and click add, and then we need to find that project we just extracted from the zip file. So for me, mine was in my documents inside my Unity projects folder. There it is. And this is it here, Tanks Blank Project. So I'm going to click on it and choose select folder. And there we go, it's appeared under my projects. Now before we open the project, I'm just going to quickly come to the Installs tab and just quickly talk about different Unity versions. Now, if I click Add, you should be able to see all of the Unity versions that are available to me at the time of recording this video. Now, Unity recommends that I use version 2019.4. As you can see, it's got the letters LTS next to it, which stand for long-term support, which just means they're going to be doing a lot of updates to this specific version and maintaining it for a long time. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, you might have other options for Unity versions to use. Unity version 2019.4 might not even be an option, which if that's the case, then just choose the next best option, one that has LTS next to it or is recommended by Unity. The actual project we're using, Tanks, is a pretty simple one. It's not too complex and there's not a lot of features inside it, so it shouldn't really matter too much which Unity version you use. However, if you do find that whilst opening up the Tanks project for the first time, you have some issues, some bugs, or Unity gives you some errors, feel free to email me or message me in Discord, and I'll just double check that that isn't due to an obsolete issue with the project and an incompatibility with whichever version of Unity you're using. But if you just want to play it safe and keep things simple, then I recommend using Unity 2019.4. Whichever number follows doesn't really matter, that just means whichever little update they've added. So for example, the most recent version for me is 2019.4.19F1, but if I close this page, you can see that I've got 2019.4.18F1. Both are pretty much the same version and will work just fine. Okay, so now that we understand versions a little bit better, let's go back to projects and let's select a version. So I'm just going to double check that I've got 2019 selected. I do. And then we just double click on the project to open it. Okay, so once you've got the project open, the first thing I'd recommend you do is give the game a play and just get a bit familiar with how it works. So as you can see, it's an isometric top-down two-player tank game where you use W, A, S, and D to control and move the blue tank, and another player uses the arrow keys to move the red tank. Then you hold space to shoot the blue, and you can hold enter to shoot the red. The idea is pretty simple. Try and blow up the other tank before the other tank blows up you. You get 5 rounds. Once you've won 5 rounds, you've won the game. Now, the first thing you should notice is that there's no audio, and that is intentional. What I've done is I've stripped all of the audio out of this project so that as we go through the course we can start adding it back in fun and new ways. But yeah, have a little play with the game, just get used to how it works and familiarise yourselves with the mechanics. If you have someone to play with, then definitely play with them. It's certainly a lot more fun. And yeah, once you've finished playing the game, you're pretty much good to go. So now the last thing that's left for us to do before we actually start learning how to use C# and add audio to this game is to familiarise ourselves with Unity itself and just get used to all of these different buttons and numbers and the whole interface in general, which is what we'll be doing in the next video. So once you're happy with your project, you've got it open and you've played the game a little bit, head on over to the next lesson.